All right, Dogs by Nature Rufio here. Today we're going to be taking a look at an instant breakdown from the Tennessee Titans game. Obviously, this is not the Titans game. We got a big old Jacksonville here in the end zone. But I wanted to show this film because this is last week's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you know, as an offensive play caller and an offensive game planner, that if the opposing team is any good, which I believe that the Titans are, they're going to have watched film of you in probably at least the past four games that you've had, the most recent four games that you've had, and maybe a couple big games kind of before that. Especially for a big game like we had this Sunday against the Titans, two 8-3 teams, jockeying for that playoff position, potential tiebreakers, all that great stuff. You know that they're going to have watched the film and studied you, and they're going to come into the game with that knowledge. So this is our first touchdown against Jacksonville. It's in the first quarter here, but I just want to have you watch a few elements of this play. First of all, we have Jarvis Landry split tight to the left side of the formation. Okay. Second, we're going to have soft play action. In this instance, it happens to be like some people call it a split zone. Some people call it a slice. But we're bringing tight end Austin Hooper back across the formation, offensive line zone blocks away. But we have soft play action, right? Hooper gets into his pass set after coming across the line. He doesn't go look to just kind of slam into that defensive end there as he would in the run play, but gets in good position to be in his pass set. So we have soft play action. We have Jarvis tight. And then what ends up happening on this play is that Landry gets bumped at the line of scrimmage, but he's running a fade route, right? He's running a fade route. Baker sees him open with some separation outside, and Baker decides to stop him on the play, throwing kind of a fade stop or a back shoulder fade there. Touchdown Browns. So if you're the Tennessee Titans, you've definitely watched this film. And if you're a smart coach, as I believe Kevin Stefanski to be, you're going to know that these players have watched film, right? So here we go again. Our first true kind of deep red zone possession in this game. We previously on our first drive, we got down to maybe the 10-yard line or so. We had a false start. We kind of got backed up. So we were kind of in the red zone, but not quite down here at the 2, at the 5, right? So again, in this area of the field, we motion Jarvis Landry short to the formation, okay? So this time, instead of just lining him up there, we motion Jarvis in tight to the formation. We're also on this play going to run a soft play action. So again, you see our entire line take that step to the right in unison, right? That marries very well with our zone run game. And then we run a soft play action here. It's not a zone fake, but it's still a play fake from Baker to Nick Chubb. Now again, I would call this a soft play action. The line is zone blocking, so they're zone pass protecting here, basically each taking that gap to the right. But then our tight end and fullback here, I believe that's Hooper and Janovich, are, again, just almost pass setting immediately, right? So Janovich gets like one or two steps into the run fake and then sets up for his pass set. And Hooper just immediately on the play just widens out into his pass set up top. So this is not a hard sell on behalf of the Browns where we're really, trying to sell that play action. And in both cases, that's all we need to sell it, right? Down here at this spot on the field, this soft fake works, and we see those linebackers bite up toward the line of scrimmage, right? We get that second level of the defense to come up and play the run. Not only that, but we actually influence the third level of the defense. So if we watch his free safety, on the run fake, he is going to take a step in and to his right. That's offense's left to follow that run fake. He reads it pretty quickly. He doesn't have to fill downhill, okay? But it's effective on the second level of the defense, which is really what we're targeting with that. Now, if you're Malcolm Butler, right, who's in cover one, so he's man-to-man with Jarvis Landry up top, you've just seen this, right? You've studied what we did last week. You saw a tight split by Jarvis Landry. You saw a soft play action. You saw a fade route, and you saw a touchdown. So what are you concerned about on this play? In the back of your mind, at the very least, you know that we've run a fade here, and you're thinking fade. Now, additionally, just in general, as a football player, as a cornerback and as a wide receiver here in this matchup, why motion or align a receiver tight to the formation, right? Why would a team do that? Why would a coach do that? Well, number one, this alignment allows our receivers to have a bigger impact in the running game, right? Down here in the red zone, Jarvis can come inside. He can crack down on a end man on line of scrimmage, be it a linebacker, safety, defensive end. And we have plays in the playbook. We run these up and down the field where we'll have that wide receiver crack, and then we'll have somebody kind of pulling out around that, right? It can be a guard, both guards, center, fullback, whoever. We pull people around that. We kind of run that sweep, so that pin and pull sweep, right? So that is reason number one to motion receiver tight, because coming from way out here and trying to hit that moving target on time is never going to happen, right? That block's never going to happen. Reason number two to motion receiver or bring a receiver in tight to the formation is that this gives them access to those crossing routes, right? Those kinds of routes that are going to be completed in this area of the field, this area of the field. You know, if we're away from the red zone and we have more space, you know, deeper on down the field. But basically, that area just outside of this opposite hash, right? If a receiver starts out wide, they never get there in the timing of the play. So you motion them closer to just cheat them in, give them a little bit of head start to be able to make it all the way across the formation in time to give the quarterback a nice throw. Now, the third reason to motion receiver or to align receiver tight to the formation is that doing so allows for more space to the outside, right? If we move our player in, that creates more space outside that a player has to defend. And this cornerback here in Malcolm Butler, he's the only player, you know, in this entire kind of 10-yard square patch of grass out there that has any chance to defend a ball thrown that way, right? So, you know, as a defensive player, you kind of know that, and you tend to hedge your bets, and you tend to play outside leverage here because that receiver has so much room to break outside into. If we think about the top of the numbers being 9 yards away from the sideline, you know, Jarvis probably ends up at 10 and a half yards in. So you've got a lot of real estate out there that you have to defend. So with that said, you know, about that matchup, there are a number of things I love about this play. I mean, I love it really on all levels. I love the coaching aspect of this, the game planning aspect of this. Obviously, running this play the week after we ran, you know, that fade and got a touchdown on it against the Jaguars. The other thing I love about this play is the route running. Okay, so Jarvis's route here I think is just excellent. And then the third thing I love about it is Baker Mayfield. So looking to the route here, the first thing I love about this route is on the snap, you see Jarvis take this one big kind of hedge step inside. Okay, he takes that step inside. Number one, get the corner off balance and create a little bit of separation headed out. But number two, it's extremely effective here because what are those things that Jarvis can do from this tight split, right? He can crack down and he can run across. So you see that first motion go inside. It is a believable fake on behalf of Jarvis Landry, and it's mostly believable because of where he is on the field. It's extremely believable. After that fake, Jarvis is able to gain separation and leverage for the fade. So if you watch these first 1, 2, 3 steps out of that route before he turns his head, Jarvis has now gained depth on that fade route because Butler is behind, right? And Butler is behind because he reacted to that inside fake. He took that one jump inside, and that's all it took for him to be behind on this play. And through those first 3 or 4 steps here, as Jarvis turns his head back, Butler is now playing catch up. Okay? Anytime you're what we call out of phase as a cornerback, meaning you are too far from the receiver to touch him and really get shoulder to shoulder with him, and you're running, you know, you've done a full man turn, and so you are running away from the line of scrimmage, and you are not shoulder to shoulder with that receiver, you know, you are taught, put your head down and do everything you can to catch up. Okay? So now he is behind, and he is in a vulnerable position here because, number one, if Baker hits his back foot here, right here, on this drop, and this is a fade pass, look at that amount of space that we can throw into that can be a touchdown, right? There's a lot of space up there at the high side of the field, so much that our camera doesn't even capture all of it, right? Now, if this is the play, Jarvis is going to get hit, right? And he's going to have to maintain that catch through contact, and that's generally the way these fades are, is they are going to be contested throws. However, on this play, Jarvis is not the first read, right? Baker is reading Hollywood down here to the bottom side of the screen. And so Jarvis, probably knowing that, and second of all, turning his head and seeing that the ball is not out yet, right? He makes the decision and the timing to break this route off inside. Okay, and that's, again, could be good coaching. I believe this to be good coaching. I believe this is a play call the whole time. It could also just be Jarvis, you know, reacting in the moment and being a good football player. Because as a receiver, you know, once you hit that 4th step, that if the quarterback has not hit his back foot and launched the ball now, it should not be coming out, right? If, let's say Baker is looking at Higgins here, Baker has to reset his feet off of that drop and then throw the ball to Landry in the high side of the field. By the time that ball gets there, right, there's going to be so little space in that back corner. I mean, there's going to be none, right? So as Jarvis Landry and as a coach, turning your head, that the ball's not coming out. So why not break inside at this very believable point in the route where Butler is still playing catch up from the line of scrimmage, right? He is out of phase and putting his head down and doing everything he can to catch up. Probably tries to interfere and hold Jarvis here, falls down to his hands and knees in the process, and that is an effective fake down in the red zone, right? And why is he that wide open? Number one is excellent route running by Jarvis Landry. Number two is excellent coaching game planning by Stefanski, AVP, and company, right? You know that they just watched that fade route go for a touchdown on film. You know that in this area of the field, if we fake a fade, it is going to be an effective fake, right? Into that kind of space. And we know that defenders know that that's why we bring receivers inside to the formation, right? It's to run that specific fade route. All these things are why this is an effective fake, and it gets an NFL player, a Pro Bowl caliber player, on his hands and knees coming out of this route. All right, now the last part about this play that I like, again, is Baker Mayfield, right? So we've heard this term one-read quarterback when describing Baker, and I'm really not sure why. I think, I know what the insinuation is, and people are saying that he doesn't have the spatial awareness or the processing speed or whatever term you want to use or whatever buzzword you want to use. That's what they're trying to say about him. And I've never seen that on an actual field. Like that is not what the tape says to me. So I really don't get it, man. And, this is a cat that entering this game was 8-3. Was it always pretty? No, absolutely not. Right. But is the Cleveland weather in November, December always pretty? No, it is not. Right. He's won games in torrential downpour this year. He has won a game in a snowstorm this year. He's won several games in very, very aggressive winds this year. And I don't think he gets enough credit. He's done what he's needed to do in every one of those games to win. All right, so anyway, we hear things that he's a one-read quarterback. Also, there's some plays like this, and just the way our offense works, that I want to ask people, like, what do you want him to invent an eligible receiver to read, right? Like look at this play, right? How does our offense work? It's the running game first, and then it's play action off that running game, isn't it? That's what we do. And the run fake here involves 3 players, 3 eligible receivers. And so we've got 2 in the route, right? So what is he supposed to read? I mean, this is what he's been doing all year, and he gets criticized for being a one-read quarterback. I just don't get it. This is not an offense that lives on sending 5 out into the route, down after down. This is not, and I don't think any NFL offense can live on that down after down. And, I don't care if you got Peyton Manning or Tom Brady back there. They're not going to process and progress through a 5-person progression, both sides of the field, post-snap, down after down. It's just not going to happen. Right? They might have options left and right. They might have options all over the place. But after the snap, you only have, 2 seconds to reliably get the ball out from the time you hit that back foot. And you're going to get hit in this league. So, that is never something that we should, want people to do, is to always have to get through all these progressions. So in any event, on this play, it's certainly not his first progression, right? Baker gives the fake. He is now looking at the free safety, and his eyes come to Higgins at the bottom side of the screen. Okay? Higgins is running this kind of fade, and he's going to fake inside like he's running a dig, but then he's going to break it back outside. It's a man-to-man beating route. You get the fade portion of it there. He tries to plant and fake inside. Get a little bit of a jersey tug there, a little bit of a press, a little bit of, grab inside and lean on him. And that's okay. There's going to be some of that in the NFL field. But Baker sees that, and the route is not open. And you can see this ball moving back to get into the throwing motion in case it was. Right there, he's ready to throw, but he sees Higgins make that break right here. He doesn't get the separation he wants out of that break, and Baker's eyes have been that way, from the drop back, right? So I want you also to watch what this free safety is going through on this play. Let's rewind this back to the snap. So free safety is going to follow the run fake, right? Free safety takes a step up into the box in case that's a run. Reads pretty quickly after that first step. It's not an actual run. We see the soft play action. So what does the free safety do? Brings his eyes outside, right? He brings his eyes to the play side. He looks at Jarvis. Jarvis is at this point in time running a fade. He crosses that off his list. Free safety crosses that off. Brings his eyes where? Back to the quarterback, right? Reads the eyes of the quarterback. Baker opens to the right. At this point, he is looking at Higgins. Free safety, full turn to the right. Takes a few hard steps, following the quarterback's eyes. And what does that do? That creates space in the back of the end zone. Where Jarvis created this separation here, Baker is creating this separation here with his eyes. Manipulating that free safety, going through his reads, progressing through his reads, hitting players wide open in the end zone. What more do you want from the guy? Right? And I think we're going to have a lot of people after this week jump on that bandwagon because he threw for a lot of yards per attempt, played his best game of the season. But this is still the cat we drafted number 1 overall. Right? This is still our quarterback and our franchise player. Now, I want to just leave you on one last note with Baker and delivering that ball. We can see as his eyes come back inside, he resets his feet there. Watch what he does with this ball placement, right? So, delivers that ball on time, and watch this targeting of this pass, okay? It comes in quickly, but I want you to see where this ends up hitting Jarvis Landry. It is on the backside. Now, why does Baker place the ball here? Why is this such good ball placement? Well, remember that free safety, right? Jarvis has beaten the brakes off of Malcolm Butler. He's lying on the ground somewhere off screen to the right, right? Malcolm Butler is no longer a part of the equation on this throw. But that free safety in the middle of the field, if this throw leads Jarvis faster to our left in this situation, close to that middle of that field, that free safety is going to get a big hit on Jarvis, and that's not good for Jarvis Landry, and it's probably not good for Baker Mayfield indirectly, and it's definitely not good for the Cleveland Browns because that free safety can jar the ball loose. But by throwing the ball back shoulder, slowing Jarvis down, giving him still very much a catchable ball on his body, but turning him away from that hit and putting it on the correct shoulder, that gives Jarvis the chance to turn away from this hit, get 2 feet down. Jarvis gets 4 toe taps on this play, and the safety coming in behind only has a desperation shove at the end of the play, hoping that somehow Jarvis will lose the ball when he hits the ground. Okay? If that ball is front side, it just even on the other side of the player, okay, this free safety can light Jarvis up. So, love everything about this play. Again, the route running, phenomenal. The play calling and the play design were phenomenal, giving us effective fakes, putting those defensive backs in a situation where they have no idea what's coming, right? Leading them astray with the film of the previous week. And then the quarterbacking, right? Progressing through the routes, rating both halves of the field. We're looking off of free safety, and we have excellent ball placement in the end zone in an area of the field where you need to be precise with where you put the ball because the openings are generally so small to put them into. So that's it for me this week, Browns fans. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to, again, visit dogsbynature.com for all your Cleveland Browns news and analysis. Our comments are going to be over there as well, so I'm going to close the YouTube comments. But if you're still with me, you want to hit that subscribe and that bell icon, do me a favor. That'd help me out. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one, and thanks for tuning in.